Hey guys, how you doing? We got a 2013 Mercedes E320, I believe. This one got a problem with a battery system. Okay, so I'll just start the car real quick. Alright, so just on the dashboard it comes with this message. Let me just zoom that in for you. So that's got a battery and it says visit workshop. That's the problem with the car. Other than that, the car drives fine and no problem whatsoever. Just that message coming up on the dash. Let's hook up our scan tool. I'll just turn the car off, key on. Alright, let's hook up our scan tool. I already scanned the fault code. Okay, so typical Mercedes, got fault codes on every computer. I scanned it, all the computer, and it's got like 26 different fault codes, but we not worry about everything else. All I'm gonna do is just go to my, I think it's in under body control module, battery control module, BCM. That's where I want to be. Alright guys, just the trouble codes. And it's coming up with the G1/7 auxiliary battery. That's for Mercedes, is faulty or not installed. And it also has a fault code for K57/2, which is your relay for the same battery, or the wire signal to the component is faulty. So this is the fault codes coming up with this one. Now this car, a lot of Mercedes actually do have two batteries, and there are different types of auxiliary batteries. For this one, we're going to talk about it today and diagnose it. This one, you do have a battery, one main battery in the boot, and one other battery is under the hood. I'll quickly go and show you. Alright, so if you just take this cabin filter box out of there, right here, that's your secondary battery. Is very tiny. That's where it sits. Okay, so we're just gonna diagnose that car today. I mean, the fault codes already say the battery is bad. We could go ahead and change the battery first if the battery is not that expensive, but just for learning, teaching experience, I'm just gonna make a quick video on that. All right, now whenever I get this type of fault, guys, I like to go and check my live data, and in live data you can see a lot of good information here. Okay, so on the live data you can see down at the bottom here, I'm not too worried about everything else, but down here we got 6.8 volts. Okay, that's what the battery is sitting at the moment, which is very low. This should be a 12 volt battery, and you need to see more than 12 volt here, right? So let's go back to the other value live data there, and the main thing here is right this one. That's what I want to focus at. So terminal 30 is 12 volt. That's the relay they're talking about for that auxiliary battery. Okay, and on the active test, we're going to do a little bit of active test as well. You can turn that relay on and off from here with the scan tool as well, and here you can also see the battery voltage is at 6.8. all right, so before we go and do anything more, I just want to quickly take you under the hood, and I'm just going to talk about a couple of things here. All right, right here, this is the wiring diagram for this battery. I'll just focus the guys there if you want to ever find some information on that battery system. Right, so just right here, I'll just try and explain to you what's going on. So this is our BCM right here. Okay, so this is the BCM. and that's just the fuse. That's the fuse there, and this is the main battery. G1 is the main battery. You can find all the abbreviation down here as well, guys, if you want to read. And this is my AUX battery, auxiliary battery. Now here is the relay for that secondary battery. Right here it says this battery doesn't get charged all the time, but right here you can read, it says this charging cycle will only occur once per ignition cycle, so only one time every time you turn the car on. Okay, so you're not gonna see the charging voltage there all the time to verify if the charging is good, or if the alternator is okay, or the battery is okay, which one's faulty. So you can't check the charging all the time on that battery. Now this is my alternator here, ALT. G2 is my alternator. So basically it's pretty similar to any other charging system, except for this one's got this battery control module. They call it BCM. Now battery control module will turn this relay on and off whenever they want to charge this battery. Basically that's the idea behind it. So we're just gonna use this wiring diagram to verify our checks, and we'll know exactly what is at fault. Okay guys, I'm not gonna go too much with this. I'm just gonna do a quick test. We probably won't be checking all this CAN bus and the BCM and all that today. We're just gonna check the charging system and the battery. That's all. Alright, let's go back to our car. Down here we got this battery sitting here, positive, negative, negative and positive terminal. Let's quickly verify if our scan tool is not lying. Okay, so we just grab the scan tool. Okay, we just grab that scan tool, and then we will go to our live data again. So battery, just go to the other live data. So our auxiliary battery is sitting about 6.8 volt at the moment. So we'll just grab our multimeter. And we'll see if we can verify this. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my multimeter leads positive and negative, and 6.8 on my multimeter as well. Okay, so the scan tool is reading right, reading the true value. Okay, now next thing is, obviously 6.8 is already low. We can already condemn this battery is no good, right? But we're just gonna do a little bit more testing on charging system, see if this is going to charge, this alternator is charging this battery or not. It only charges once every cycle, every ignition cycle, so it's not gonna be charging all the time. Okay, so I'll go and turn the car on quickly. Alright, we're just gonna start the car. Alright, might be a little bit noisy, I'm under the hood. And you can see our multimeter is still sitting at 6.7 volts, 6.8 volt, and that's exactly what you got on the scan tool as well. So this alternator is doing nothing at the moment. Alright, so just right here I'll show you one more thing real quick. I don't know if I can show you or not, but I'll try. So down here, if you lift this cowling up a little bit, we can see a little black box right here. That's your relay that's they're talking about for the auxiliary battery. And now on that one you see two wire little connector there, little connector, wiring connector. That's our I hope you guys can see that. That's just the control from the BCM. That's when computer wants to turn the relay on, they'll send power and earth, or however they do it on the wiring diagram. You can see, I think it's got power all the time. The computer switches the earth to turn that relay on. just the plug, and beside that you'll see there's two like a thick wires. There's one there and there's another one. There's two thick wires that with the big 10mm bolts bolted to that relay box. Okay, so there's one is our power from the, let's say, battery and alternator all the time going to the relay box. The other side is whenever the relay is turned on, that voltage will travel to the other line, and then it will feed this small auxiliary battery. That's how it works. I'll just quickly show you on the wiring diagram. So basically what I'm talking about here is this one here. So this relay is right under that cowling. So there's a pin 30 here and a pin 87 here. So the two thick wire bolted under there with the 10mm nut. So pin 30, like any other relay, pin 30 comes directly through this fuse from the battery positive. Okay, and that fuse is also fed by the alternator here as well. So you're gonna see alternator charging voltage right here, and then whenever the BCM turns this relay on, this voltage will travel to pin 87, and that will go and charge this little battery. So basically we're gonna do our test here and here. All right, while the engine is running, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my negative terminal on the battery negative, on that little battery there, right? And we'll just watch our scan tool and the multimeter right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my positive lead off the multimeter. I'm gonna take this connection, and then I'm gonna just touch this one thick connection there, thick wire. Battery negative is still hooked up. I'm just gonna touch my other lead of the multimeter to the first big terminal with the red tag. Okay, I'm just gonna touch that metal wire there, and you can see on the multimeter we got 14 volt coming in. Okay, so that means the alternator is sending the charge up to here before the relay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to our scan tool, right? And then I'm gonna go to active test, and on the active test we got auxiliary battery relay. So right now let me just show you quickly. So we got 14 volt on this side of the terminal, and I'm gonna go to the other side, pin 87, other big cable, and at the moment we're seeing 6.75 volt. So I'm just touching the other wire there. Sorry, it's a bit hard to see, but 6.7 volt, which is our battery voltage. It's not sending any charge. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this scan tool. I'm gonna command the relays to turn on. So F3 here, I'm gonna hit the relay command, and the battery voltage is dropping 4. So basically we're not only exposing this battery to the charging system, I'm also exposing this battery to the load as well. So whatever this battery feeds, any auxiliary power outlets, whatever it needs to be fed, so that's why the battery voltage has dropped to 4 volt, but we don't see any charging at the moment. It's sitting at 4 volt, and on the scan tool you can see on the auxiliary battery it's sitting at 3 volt as well. So I'm gonna turn that off from the scan tool, the relay. And also if you do this with the key on, you'll hear the clicking as well on the relay, like the normal relay when you turn it on and off. That's one way to verify if the relay is good or not as well, but it's not 100% proof. Now once I turned that off, the battery voltage went up to 6.2 volts. That's where we were before, right? So what I'm thinking at the moment is what's happening here is that the battery is bad. So the computer knows, the BCM, battery control module knows the battery is bad. That's why it's not sending the charge through the relay. I think that's what's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a jumper pack and then do the same testing. I'll just set up my jumper pack here. Just my jumper pack. I'm gonna take the positive and negative, and I'm just gonna connect to that battery quickly. All right, as soon as I put the battery jumper pack, you can see now my battery, my auxiliary battery voltage went up to 12.5 volt on the scan tool. You can see. All right, so I'm just gonna again connect this to my battery negative, and the other side of the multimeter, I'm just gonna go to my, that's the input, 14 volt, let's say. That's the input for that charging system. Now let's go to the other terminal down there on the relay. I'm seeing 12.5 volt, which is my jump pack voltage. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this relay on through the scan tool. Right now, let's see, I heard the clicking on the relay, and you can see the charging voltage on the multimeter. The voltage has gone up to 13.8. Also on the scan tool, on the auxiliary voltage, you can see it went up to 14 volt as well. So the charging system is good. All the leads, battery cable, relay control is good. So I think we're gonna need a new battery for this. Okay, thanks guys. This is one way to check this battery and the charging system on a Mercedes auxiliary battery. Hope this will help you guys. Thank you. I'll see you next time.